大家好，我是 Jenny， 欢迎来到沉思者 J。 你有没有想过，如果有一天女性失去了所有权利，会是什么样子？1985年，一本小说震撼了全世界，那就是《使女的故事》，作者是玛格丽特爱特伍。她用文字建构了一个恐怖的未来，女性沦为生育工具。这不只是科幻小说，更是对现实的警告。今天我们要认识这位文学巨擘，他的笔如同一把利剑，划破虚伪的表象，让我们看见真相。1939年11月18日，玛格丽特爱特伍出生在加拿大渥太华。他的父亲是昆虫学家，经常带着全家在荒野中研究。小玛格丽特在森林里长大，与大自然为伴。这样的童年让他养成了独立思考的习惯，也培养了他敏锐的观察力。他很早就开始写作，6岁写诗，16岁就决定要当作家。他说，我从小就知道写作是我的天命。爱特伍在多伦多大学念英语文学，那是1950年代，女性作家还很罕见，文坛几乎被男性垄断，但他不在乎，他继续写。1961年，他出版了第一本诗集，名叫《双重珀尔塞福涅》。珀尔塞福涅是希腊神话中的女神，被冥王掳走，成为冥后。这个意象象征着女性的双重处境，既是受害者，也拥有力量。这本诗集奠定了她的文学风格。1969年，爱特伍出版了小说《可以吃的女人》。这本书探讨女性在婚姻中的处境。女主角莫莉安发现自己无法进食，她感觉自己正在被消化，被社会吞噬。这是一个绝妙的隐喻，女性的身体成为战场，成为抗争的工具。这本书引起了巨大回响，人们开始注意到，原来女性议题可以这样书写，既尖锐又充满文学性。1972年，爱特伍出版了《浮现》，这是一本更黑暗的小说，讲述一个女人回到童年的湖边小屋，寻找失踪的父亲。在寻找过程中，她也找回了自己。这本书充满了象征，水、森林、动物都成为心理状态的投射。爱特伍擅长用自然意象来表达人性的复杂，他的文字总是充满诗意，却又冷静得令人发抖。1985年，艾特批出版了《使女的故事》，这是他最著名的作品。故事发生在未来的激烈国，这是一个极权宗教国家，建立在美国土地上。因为环境污染，许多女性失去生育能力，能生育的女性被强制成为使女，她们的唯一功能就是为统治阶级生孩子。主角奥弗·弗雷德原本有自己的名字，有工作，有家庭，但一夕之间，他失去了一切，他的名字，他的身份，他的自由。他成为弗雷德的使女。奥弗·弗雷德，意思是属于弗雷德的人。这本书的恐怖之处不在于暴力场面，而在于它的合理性。爱特伍说，书中的每一个情节都曾在历史上发生过。纳粹德国的生育计划，伊朗革命后的女性处境，罗马尼亚禁止堕胎的政策，这些都是真实存在的。他只是把它们组合起来，投射到未来，让读者看见极权主义如何一步步剥夺人的尊严。使女的故事出版后，立刻引起轰动。有人说这是杰作，也有人说这太过激进，但没有人能否认这本书的力量。它赢得了加拿大总督文学奖，被翻译成40多种语言，全球销售超过800万册。更重要的是，它成为了一个文化符号。每当女性权利受到威胁，人们就会想起使女的故事，想起那些穿着红袍、戴着白色头巾的使女。1996年，爱特伍出版了《劫后余生》，这是使女的故事的精神续作。虽然故事不同，但同样探讨权力与性别。这次的背景是洪水后的世界，幸存者必须重建文明，但旧有的压迫模式却又重新出现。爱特伍用这本书告诉我们，如果不改变思维，即使重新开始，历史依然会重演。2000年，爱特伍出版了《盲眼刺客》，这是一部复杂的小说，故事有多重叙事层次，有回忆， 有小说中的小说，有真相，也有谎言。这本书为他赢得了布克奖，这是英语文学的最高荣誉之一。评审赞誉他创造了一个令人着迷的世界，文字优美，结构精巧，是文学艺术的极致。爱特伍不只写小说，他也写诗，写评论，写短篇故事。他甚至发明了远距签名笔，让作家可以为世界各地的读者签名。他说，科技应该为人服务，而不是控制人。这个想法也反映在他的作品中。他的小说经常探讨科技如何改变人性，权力如何扭曲道德。2013年，爱特伍出版了《疯狂亚当》3部曲的最后一部。这个系列从2003年开始，描绘了一个生态崩溃的未来，人类过度开发，导致环境灾难，基因工程失控，创造出新的物种，幸存者必须在废墟中求生。这个系列充满了警示意味。爱特伍用文字提醒我们，如果不改变，这就是我们的未来。2019年，爱特伍出版了《证言》，这是《使女的故事》的正式续集，距离前作已经34年。书中从3个女性的视角，揭露激烈国的内幕，有在体制内掌权的嬷嬷，有在加拿大长大的难民女儿，有在激烈国内部反抗的少女。3条故事线交织，最终揭露了一个惊人的真相。这本书再次赢得布克奖，爱特伍成为极少数2次获得这个奖项的作家。使女的故事也被改编成电视剧，从2017年开始播出，在全球引起巨大回响。剧中使女的红袍成为女性抗议的象征，在反堕胎法案的示威中，在争取女性权利的游行里，都可以看到这身红袍。爱特伍说，他很惊讶，这本30多年前的小说，在今天依然如此相关。这证明我们还没有学到教训。爱特伍的作品总是充满了预言性，他写的未来往往在现实中应验。他写环境灾难，气候变迁成真；他写女性权利倒退，现实中也出现类似趋势。他写科技失控，人工智慧成为热议话题。有人说爱特伍是先知，但他说，我不是先知，我只是把历史的模式投射到未来。爱特伍在访谈中说过，写作是危险的，因为它会改变读者。一旦你读了某本书，你就不再是原来的你，你看世界的方式改变了。这就是文学的力量，它不只是娱乐，更是觉醒的工具。他希望读者读完他的书后，能够思考，能够质疑，能够行动。爱特伍也是环保运动的积极参与者，他支持绿色能源，反对破坏自然。他认为，环境问题就是人权问题，当地球被破坏，受害的是所有人，特别是弱势群体。他用作品唤起人们的意识，也用行动实践自己的理念。在文学界，爱特伍是一个特殊的存在，他既是严肃文学作家，作品赢得无数奖项，又是畅销书作家，书籍销量惊人。他证明了文学性与可读性并不矛盾，好的故事可以既深刻又吸引人。他的成功也鼓舞了许多女性作家，让她们相信女性的声音同样重要。爱特伍的写作风格有几个特点：第一，他的文字精准，每个字都经过仔细推敲，没有废话。第二，他擅长用第一人称叙事，让读者进入角色的内心，感受他们的恐惧，他们的挣扎。第三，他善用讽刺，用幽默包裹严肃的主题，让人在笑中思考。第四，他的结构常常很复杂，有多重时间线，有嵌套的故事，需要读者投入注意力。爱特伍也很重视读者，他经常参加读书会，与读者对话。他说，作家写完书，任务就完成一半，另一半要靠读者。读者的诠释，让作品有了新的生命。每个读者都会从书中读出不同的东西，这就是文学的魅力。爱特伍获得的荣誉数不胜数，除了布克奖，他还获得了法兰兹卡夫卡奖，获得了国际笔会奖，获得了加拿大勋章，被授予大英帝国勋章。他是加拿大文坛的国宝，也是世界文学的巨人。 但她从不自满。她说，每写一本新书，都像是重新开始，都是一次冒险。今天，爱特伍已经80多岁，但她依然在写作，依然在发声，依然在为女性权利奋斗。她在社交媒体上很活跃，常常针对时事发表评论。她说，作家的责任就是说出真相，即使真相令人不舒服，即使会被攻击，也要说出来。使女的故事告诉我们，自由不是理所当然的，它随时可能被剥夺。当我们看到不公义，不能沉默；当我们看到歧视，不能旁观。历史告诉我们，极权主义往往从小事开始，从限制言论自由开始，从歧视某个群体开始。如果我们不警醒，悲剧就会重演。爱特伍用他的一生实践了一个信念，那就是文学可以改变世界。他的作品唤醒了无数读者，让他们看见性别不平等的问题，环境危机的严重性，极权主义的危险性。他证明了一支笔可以比刀剑更有力量。玛格丽特爱特伍的故事是关于坚持的故事。在一个不重视女性声音的时代，她坚持写作；在一个追求速成的时代，她坚持深度；在一个回避问题的时代，她坚持直面真相。她告诉我们，真正的勇气不是无所畏惧，而是即使害怕，也要说出该说的话。她的作品像一面镜子，照出社会的丑陋，也像一盏明灯，指引前进的方向。在使女的故事结尾，主角奥弗弗雷德说，无论发生什么，都要坚持下去，因为有些故事必须被诉说，有些真相必须被保存。今天，当我们享受自由的时候，应该记得，这些自由是来之不易的，是无数人奋斗的结果。而爱特伍提醒我们，这些自由也随时可能失去，所以我们必须珍惜，必须守护，必须为下一代创造更好的世界。玛格丽特爱特伍，一个用文字战斗的女性，一个不畏强权的作家，一个永不妥协的灵魂。她的笔下诞生了无数令人难忘的角色，她的作品将永远激励着我们，提醒我们要警醒，要思考，要行动。在这个充满挑战的时代，我们需要像爱特伍这样的声音，需要她的勇气，需要她的智慧，需要她的坚持。她告诉我们，即使在最黑暗的时刻，文字依然有力量，故事依然能传播，希望依然存在。让我们记住她的话，不要让激烈国发生，不要让使女的故事成真，要守护我们的自由，守护我们的尊严，守护我们的未来。这是每一个人的责任，这是爱特伍留给我们的启示。我们下次见咯。Hello everyone, I'm Jenny. Welcome to Thinker J. Have you ever imagined what would happen if women lost all their rights one day? In 1985, a novel shocked the entire world. It was called The Handmaid's Tale. The author was Margaret Atwood. She used words to construct a terrifying future where women became tools for reproduction. This was not just science fiction. It was a warning about reality. Today we will get to know this literary giant. Her pen is like a sharp sword cutting through false appearances to reveal the truth. Margaret Atwood was born on November 18, 1939, in Ottawa, Canada. Her father was an entomologist who often took the whole family to study in the wilderness. Little Margaret grew up in forests, befriending nature. This childhood fostered her habit of independent thinking and cultivated her keen observation skills. She started writing very early. She wrote poetry at age 6. At 16, she decided to become a writer. She said she knew from childhood that writing was her destiny. Atwood studied English literature at the University of Toronto. That was in the 1950s when female writers were still rare. The literary world was almost monopolized by men. But she did not care. She continued writing. In 1961, she published her first poetry collection called Double Persephone. Persephone was a goddess in Greek mythology who was abducted by Hades and became queen of the underworld. This imagery symbolized the dual situation of women, both victims and holders of power. This collection established her literary style. In 1969, Atwood published the novel The Edible Woman. This book explored the situation of women in marriage. The protagonist Marion found herself unable to eat. She felt she was being digested and consumed by society. This was a brilliant metaphor. The female body became a battlefield and a tool for resistance. This book caused a huge response. People began to notice that women's issues could be written this way, both sharp and highly literary. In 1972, Atwood published Surfacing. This was a darker novel about a woman returning to her childhood lakeside cabin to search for her missing father. In the search process, she also rediscovered herself. This book was full of symbols. Water, forests, and animals all became projections of psychological states. Atwood excelled at using natural imagery to express human complexity. Her words were always poetic yet chillingly calm. In 1985, Atwood published The Handmaid's Tale. This was her most famous work. The story took place in the future nation of Gilead, a totalitarian religious state built on American soil. Due to environmental pollution, many women lost their ability to reproduce. Fertile women were forced to become handmaids whose only function was to bear children for the ruling class. The protagonist Offred originally had her own name, a job, and a family. But overnight she lost everything: her name, her identity, her freedom. She became the handmaid of Fred. Offred meant belonging to Fred. The horror of this book was not in violent scenes but in its plausibility. Atwood said every plot element in the book had happened in history. The Nazi breeding programs, the situation of women after the Iranian Revolution, Romania's abortion ban policies, these all existed in reality. She simply combined them and projected them into the future to let readers see how totalitarianism gradually strips away human dignity. After The Handmaid's Tale was published, it immediately caused a sensation. Some called it a masterpiece while others said it was too radical. But no one could deny the power of this book. It won the Governor-General's Literary Award of Canada and was translated into over 40 languages. Global sales exceeded 8 million copies. More importantly, it became a cultural symbol. Whenever women's rights were threatened, people remembered The Handmaid's Tale and those handmaids in red robes and white bonnets. In 1996, Atwood published Alias Grace. This was the spiritual sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. Although the story was different, it also explored power and gender. This time the setting was a post-flood world where survivors had to rebuild civilization. But the old patterns of oppression reappeared. Atwood used this book to tell us that without changing our thinking, even if we start over, history will repeat itself. In 2000, Atwood published The Blind Assassin. This was a complex novel with multiple narrative layers including memories, a novel within a novel, truths, and lies. This book won her the Booker Prize, one of the highest honors in English literature. The judges praised her for creating a fascinating world with beautiful prose and exquisite structure representing the ultimate in literary art. Atwood not only wrote novels but also poetry, criticism, and short stories. She even invented a long-distance signing pen allowing writers to sign for readers around the world. She said technology should serve people, not control them. This idea was reflected in her works, which often explored how technology changes human nature and how power distorts morality. In 2013, Atwood published the final volume of the Mad Adam trilogy. This series began in 2003 depicting a future of ecological collapse. Human overexploitation led to environmental disasters. Genetic engineering ran out of control, creating new species. Survivors had to survive in ruins. This series was full of warnings. Atwood used words to remind us that if we do not change, this will be our future. In 2019, Atwood published The Testaments. This was the official sequel to The Handmaid's Tale, 34 years after the original. The book revealed the inside story of Gilead from 3 female perspectives: an ant wielding power within the system, a refugee daughter raised in Canada, and a girl resisting within Gilead. 3 storylines intertwined to reveal a shocking truth. This book won the Booker Prize again, making Atwood one of very few writers to win this award twice. The Handmaid's Tale was also adapted into a television series beginning in 2017, causing a huge global response. The red robes of the handmaids became symbols of female protest. In demonstrations against anti-abortion laws and marches for women's rights, these red robes could be seen everywhere. Atwood said she was surprised that this novel from over 30 years ago remained so relevant today, proving we still have not learned our lesson. Atwood's works were always prophetic. The futures she wrote often came true in reality. She wrote about environmental disasters and climate change became real. She wrote about the regression of women's rights and similar trends appeared in reality. She wrote about technology running amok and artificial intelligence became a hot topic. Some called Atwood a prophet, but she said she was not a prophet, she simply projected historical patterns into the future. Atwood once said in an interview that writing is dangerous because it changes readers. Once you read a certain book, you are no longer the same person. Your way of seeing the world has changed. This is the power of literature. It is not just entertainment but a tool for awakening. She hoped readers would think, question, and take action after reading her books. Atwood was also an active participant in environmental movements. She supported green energy and opposed the destruction of nature. She believed environmental issues were human rights issues. When the earth is destroyed, everyone suffers, especially vulnerable groups. She used her works to raise awareness and practiced her beliefs through action. In the literary world, Atwood was a special existence. She was both a serious literary writer whose works won countless awards and a best-selling author with amazing book sales. She proved that literary quality and readability do not contradict each other. Good stories can be both profound and engaging. Her success also encouraged many female writers to believe that women's voices are equally important. Atwood's writing style had several characteristics. First, her words were precise with every word carefully considered and no waste. Second, she excelled at first-person narration, allowing readers to enter the character's mind and feel their fears and struggles. Third, she used irony skillfully, wrapping serious themes in humor to make people think while laughing. Fourth, her structure was often complex with multiple timelines and nested stories requiring reader attention. Atwood also valued readers greatly. She often participated in book clubs and dialogued with readers. She said when a writer finishes a book, the task is only half done. The other half depends on readers. Reader interpretation gives the work new life. Each reader will read different things from the book. This is the charm of literature. The honors Atwood received were countless. Besides the Booker Prize, she won the Franz Kafka Prize, the PEN Award, the Order of Canada, and was awarded the Order of the British Empire. She is a national treasure of Canadian literature and a giant of world literature. But she was never complacent. She said writing each new book is like starting over, always an adventure. Today Atwood is over 80 years old but still writing, still speaking out, still fighting for women's rights. She is active on social media and often comments on current events. She said the responsibility of writers is to tell the truth, even if the truth makes people uncomfortable, even if they face attacks. The Handmaid's Tale tells us that freedom is not taken for granted. It can be stripped away at any time. When we see injustice, we cannot remain silent. When we see discrimination, we cannot stand by. History tells us that totalitarianism often starts from small things, from restricting freedom of speech, from discriminating against certain groups. If we are not vigilant, tragedy will repeat itself. Atwood used her life to practice a belief that literature can change the world. Her works awakened countless readers, showing them the problems of gender inequality, the severity of environmental crises, and the dangers of totalitarianism. She proved that a pen can be more powerful than swords. Margaret Atwood's story is about persistence. In an era that did not value women's voices, she persisted in writing. In an era pursuing quick success, she persisted in depth. In an era avoiding problems, she persisted in facing truth. She tells us that true courage is not fearlessness but speaking what must be said even when afraid. Her works are like a mirror reflecting the ugliness of society and like a lamp guiding the direction forward. At the end of The Handmaid's Tale, the protagonist Offred says that no matter what happens, we must persist because some stories must be told and some truths must be preserved. Today when we enjoy freedom, we should remember that these freedoms did not come easily but are the result of countless people's struggles. And Atwood reminds us that these freedoms can be lost at any time. So we must cherish them, protect them, and create a better world for the next generation. Margaret Atwood, a woman fighting with words, a writer unafraid of authority, a soul that never compromises. Under her pen, countless unforgettable characters were born. Her works will forever inspire us, reminding us to be vigilant, to think, and to take action. In this challenging era, we need voices like Atwood's. We need her courage, her wisdom, and her persistence. She tells us that even in the darkest moments, words still have power, stories can still spread, and hope still exists. Let us remember her words: do not let Gilead happen, do not let the Handmaid's Tale come true. Protect our freedom, protect our dignity, protect our future. This is everyone's responsibility. This is the enlightenment Atwood left us. See you next time.